And God said, "Let there be
The
light."
Lord says, "Let my people go."
I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
This is the Talkin' Bible podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another week of Talkin' Bible with Rohan Bell, and back again this week with Shannon Moir. Hello, Shannon.
G'day, how you going?
I'm doing good. We're recording this fairly late. We're starting, after 5, so...
We are just after 5.
Just after 5. So our goal will be to finish by 7. How's that sound?
That sounds wonderful.
That sounds wonderful.
We're going to do
How
that
much
earlier than
we
that.
can. Oh, come on, let's smash this out before
Yes.
7. I'm off to the airport tonight, so I don't want to be too late. I've got an early morning flight tomorrow. So this week we're starting with Blessed are the Peacemakers.
They are. They need to be.
They need to be?
They need to be.
They need to be blessed.
They
because
need
it's
to
not
be
a-
blessed.
It's not an easy job to be a peacemaker, is it?
Yeah, well, I've got this idea. I think we hear the word blessed, and maybe we need to give a definition of what
I think that's really
blessed
important.
is.
Yeah.
Because we think blessed, does that mean like they've got lots of money?
Hashtag
Yes. Hashtag blessed.
blessed.
You know, are they happy?
Yes.
Are these the happy people?
Yeah.
Are these the ones that have got the nice car?
Yeah.
You
Is there
know?
more to it than that?
And I think there is. I think there's a
Yeah.
whole heap more to what the word blessed means.
Yeah, help us out there. We have had this conversation a few different times over the year, but because we've done a few Beatitudes.
And I think it's God's favour.
God's favour, okay.
I like the interpretation of God's favour. So God's favour be with
Okay, yep.
that's the way I interpret.
And what's the implications of having God's favour? Because that itself could be quite a broad term, but people might go, yeah, but what does that mean?
Yeah,
What are the
so-
implications of having
because-
God's favour?
God's favour is there's lots as we expand this out, if you've got God's favour, you don't have to wait for any of the Beatitudes to be happening
Now it's
to have God's favour.
Gotcha.
It's with you already.
Gotcha, yeah.
And so sometimes we take the Beatitudes and we go, this is the list we have to aspire to.
Right.
But I don't think that's necessarily the case
Okay.
with the Beatitudes.
Yep. There's a favour that will have a result in our life.
Yes. Yeah. And so, I don't want to aspire to be poor in spirit. Mm-hmm. That's probably not the thing I want to aspire to.
Okay, gotcha.
Like I may find myself poor in spirit.
Yes.
And
the fact is, Jesus, the crowds he were talking to were poor in spirit
that's right.
because they had very little of anything.
Yes. And so I don't want to find myself poor in spirit.
Yes.
But if I do find myself
Then I'm
poor
blessed.
then
I have God's
the
favour.
God's favour is with me.
That's a really good analogy. I remember Tim Mackey talking about this, and it fits with what you're saying, is that he was describing the fact that the crowds he's talking to, they basically are already poor in spirit. They are already, hungry and thirsty and all those things that it says. And he's actually saying they thought that the ones that were blessed were down the road in the city of Tiberias. They would have said, "Oh, they're the blessed ones. They're living the high life. They're living the quote unquote hashtag blessed life." And Jesus was actually saying to them, "No. It's actually your physical well-being and your financial well-being is actually not the determining factor in whether you're blessed. You're blessed now as poor in spirit because God's favor is upon you. And it was an upside down message. They thought, no, we're not the blessed ones, they are. And Jesus was actually elevating them and going, no, you're actually blessed because God's favor is on you because you rely on him.
Yeah.
Because, not because you've got financial blessing or whatever it might be.
Yep. And I have this picture. I have this picture because I'm going to bring my Bible app up. Let me bring my Bible app up because of the picture that I have. And I want to read the beginning of the verse. And now I've jumped out of it. Let me jump back into it because I think sometimes we can get this picture totally wrong. And if we get the picture wrong, maybe we've jumped ahead of where Jesus may be in the teaching of the Beatitudes.
Okay.
So at the very beginning, Jesus sees the crowds. He went up on the mountain and he sat down and his disciples came to him.
Yep.
And he opened his mouth and he taught them, his disciples.
His disciples, yep.
And he said the Beatitudes to the disciples.
Okay, great. Yeah, very good.
And I could almost see Jesus pulling them aside and going,
I want to talk to you guys.
I want to talk to you guys
Yeah.
about these people.
Yes.
Because they would have had all these judgments on all these people, this massive
good point.
crowd.
Okay, so it's a teaching point for his disciples about their perception of who is living the blessed life.
That's right.
Very good.
Because I reckon they were judging all these different people, all these
And
poor
we know
people.
they did because, don't
Totally.
let the kids come to me and don't,
That's right.
protect the master. He's too important.
Exactly. Oh, all these people need healing. Oh, gee, look at the lines.
Yeah,
Gee,
that's right.
how's the master going to have any time for us?
Yeah,
because
right, great.
we want the time
Jesus
with him
wanted
as
to
well.
upend their thinking.
I think he
That's
did.
good.
And I think he was flipping it on their heads
Yeah,
to go, right,
Let me
I
tell you
want
about these
you
people.
to see what I see.
great.
And I think he was just
That's one of the
literally
clearest explanation I've ever heard for the Beatitudes. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's really
I
good.
think he was just going, okay, the kingdom of God is near,
Yeah.
and I want you to see what I see.
Yeah, that's right. Great.
And I love that, and it doesn't say when he started teaching the crowd,
No.
and it was probably right after this.
Yeah, but at the moment he's teaching his disciples. They
But he
come
was-
to him.
They came to him,
Yeah, great.
and just before he probably went out to teach the full crowd, he just taught them,
I like it.
and he was just telling them, right, here's the baseline. Before I go out and I start teaching everyone,
Yep.
I want you to see what I see here.
Great.
And he gives them this message, and I think it would have knocked them for six.
Good.
And so, and this was the expectation then he had for them.
Yeah, that's right. This is what I expect you to view. How I want you to view others.
Yeah.
Yes. Good.
And we haven't even read the Bible verse
No,
yet.
no, that's a good context.
We probably should. Hey, we
Yeah.
probably should at least read the Bible verse that we're talking about. So this is out of Matthew chapter 5, verse 9.
Yep.
Okay. And it is, I'll get the right part. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Now we can pull this apart for a very long time, but we're gonna read the entire Beatitudes,
Okay.
because I think there's some deeper pieces here that we need to pull
Help
out.
us out.
Okay, so blessed are so we're going to read the entire Beatitudes. So blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted because of their righteousness. Blessed are those who are insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, because great is your reward in heaven. For in the same way they persecute the prophets who were before you. So I have a theory that there is a chiasm in the text.
A chiasm in the Beatitudes, Shannon.
I believe there is. So
what is a chiasm
so-
for our listeners that don't know what it is?
Okay, so a chiasm is a piece of literature that, or a tool
a literary tool that was very common in the Bible.
in the Bible where it will go, I want to point you to the main message of what I'm teaching.
Yeah.
So there's all sorts of teaching around it, but then they're going to point to the middle part of what the point is.
Yes, great.
Now, before we get to that part, I want to point out one more thing, that the peacemakers, after that, there's two persecutions.
Okay.
So the peacemakers, if you're a peacemaker,
You are going to have persecution.
you are going to have persecution.
So let's just clarify a little bit more, just for our listeners, on how this literary style works before you explain it in this context. So the best way to explain a chiasm is we tend to, normally if we're doing a literary thing, we start with a beginning, then an introduction, then we have our content, and then we'll put a conclusion at the end. That's the standard way we would do things, of writing an essay.
Very
whatever.
Western
way of thinking. The way that a chiasm works, the best way to describe it is that the literary style is written beginning, middle, beginning, or
Yes.
A, B, C, B, A.
Yep.
And so oftentimes the outside...
AA, BB,
Well, that's another way to do it. Yes,
Yep.
exactly. Yeah. So let's go with the A, B, C, B, A, which is the most common way to do it. So what would happen in those contexts is often the first phrase and the last phrase will be in parallel with each other. Inside that are two parallel phrases. And then the middle one, which stands out, is the tip of the arrow, and that's the main point they're trying to say. So we normally think, Western thinking, we're going to make our last point, our most important point, either right at the start and then back it up, or we're going to put it at the end as the conclusion, the summary of everything we've just said. Now, they don't do it that way.
No.
They point you to the middle. So it messes with our heads. And sometimes it's A, B, C, D, C, B, A.
Yes.
Sometimes there's 5 points in a chiasm. Is this one of those A, B, C, B, A's, or is this A, B, B, C, C one?
Well, this is this is where I get confused with which
one it is.
Which one it is, but we're gonna get to the
point
middle.
To the middle. That's okay.
And
So
I'll go with what parallels with what.
And it's not that the B's and the A's aren't important. It's just that they lend toward the big punch right in the middle that is there. And this is all through the Bible. This is a common literary technique used from the Old Testament and the New Testament.
And you'll see the patterns. When you'll be reading, you're going, haven't I read this part before? Doesn't this sound like the beginning of the chapter that I've just read? And once you start seeing them, you'll go, oh, hang on, I should probably start going backwards because this matches with this and this matches with that. Oh, hang on, the middle
this happens
part's
at
here.
a verse level. It happens at a chapter level. It happens in the Pentateuch. The whole of the Torah is a chiasm pointing to a passage in the middle.
Yeah,
so,
which is beautiful. And we encourage you to go and find it. Once you find it,
you go, wow.
It's
Book of Lamentations is a chiasm.
Stunning.
Yep. I think it's right in the middle of, almost the middle verses of the chapter 3 of Lamentations says, his mercies are new every morning, great is your faithfulness.
Yep.
That is the middle of this book about complaining about how bad things are, right in the middle. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies are new every morning. That's the chiasm.
Yeah.
That's the point.
So here's the chiasm. And I love how all these pieces, they parallel with each other so beautifully. So poor in spirit and persecution parallel each other.
Yep.
Which, if you're suffering persecution,
you will be poor in spirit.
You're going to be
vice
poor in
versa.
spirit.
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Okay. Those who mourn and peacemakers parallel each other. And usually people that are mourning are going to need a peacemaker.
Good.
In most cases.
Yep.
The meek and the pure at heart
right.
are
They
also
sound very similar. Yep.
paralleling each other. And then in the middle are the two that really what we're pointing to. And they are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness and the merciful.
Okay. All right.
And so I could just see Jesus pointing to the Beatitudes here, and I could hear him saying, so if you really are hungry and thirst for righteousness, and if you want to experience righteousness, then it is through mercy.
Mercy. So show mercy and you will receive mercy. Show mercy and you will receive, you'll be filled, hunger and thirst.
Yeah. And
for
you're going to
righteousness.
experience righteousness.
Yes. Okay, so that's a little bit like what Jeannie preached here at Illawarra yesterday morning around the whole concept of
Exactly
if you-
right.
the golden rule. If you want to live the best life, live it for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the word righteousness here is a really interesting translation.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say it correctly, so I'm just going to give you the translation
Okay,
of it.
do it.
Which is basically like charity.
Okay.
And so it's like giving to the poor, but it's not just a donation to the poor. It's a much deeper
It's all of yourself
commitment
to restore them to right relationships.
Exactly right. So it's a deeper, not just I'm going to give a donation to the Salvos or to Vinnie's. This is a deeper commitment to how am I going to restore someone from the position they're in. And even if someone's in a position that they need to be restored, the expectation is they're still going to give.
Yeah.
And so it's this deeper
Good.
Charity.
Yeah.
Than
it's a lifestyle rather than a token. It's
Yes.
not a token
It's
lifestyle.
not
It's an actual 100% dedicated lifestyle.
That's right.
I like it.
And so this righteousness isn't just about being made right with God. It's about a deeper connection of I'm being made right with God, but I am going to show mercy
Yeah, gotcha.
because of my right standing with God,
Yep.
my love of God and the compassion that I've been shown overflows
Gotcha.
out of me, and the mercy that I've been given, I will be showing mercy. It
will
flows
flow out
so
of me, yeah.
naturally out
Yep.
of me.
As you have loved, so you will love one another.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I guess you could back out of the chiasm another level and come back to the peacemakers thing and say, you know, if the chiasm is wanting to be merciful and restore people into right relationships, which is a big part of what you said about righteousness, right relationship. We Christians, we make righteousness, oh yeah, it's some token thing we get with God. It's more than that. The meaning is more around this deeper, richer, putting people in right relationship with God and with one another. And part of that will be peacemaking.
And so then it actually
It flows
flows
out
down.
from
So
that middle
it's
section.
like almost, I picture we've all seen that picture of the glasses of champagne and you're pouring the champagne and it all
exactly. That's a good way to think of
cascades
it.
down.
Yeah.
So then the peacemakers start, you
So
fall
if
into
you are living
peacemaking.
humbly and if you are living mercifully, you will become a peacemaker.
Yep. And then you'll become meek.
Meek and all those other things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
like
so
it.
it actually just
like it.
keeps flowing down.
That's great.
So it's
I'm going to do some more digging into that because I think that's
it's a deeper piece.
Did you come up with that yourself or did you see it somewhere?
Well, I was doing some study with the Beamer stuff.
Yes,
And
yeah.
this stuff, I was just
so the
like,
Beamer guys talk. Oh, I missed
Yeah.
it. Man, I've listened to everything Beamer put out.
yeah.
Oh no, not more recently, but their older stuff where they go through the whole Bible. I listened to
Yeah,
that.
and so this one got me. I'm like going,
very
hang
good.
on, there's more to this than
Yeah, great.
just
Okay.
a
I don't
quick
remember Marty
flash.
talking about that.
And so I'm looking at this going, there's got to be more.
Yeah,
There's
great.
got to be more. So it can't just stop. It actually flows back around,
Yes.
and it's almost circular.
It is. Well, that's the Jewish thinking. Is that Eastern thinking is beginning, middle, beginning. Things rotate back to themselves. Yep.
And so then there's two sides of it where there's the top half and the bottom half, where the top half of the Beatitudes are more insular,
Internal. Yes, that's right.
and
Yep.
then the bottom half external.
Yeah, I can see that too.
And so if you're in the top half, and the bottom half will be ministering to you.
Yeah, gotcha. Ah, wow. Okay. And if you go the other way around, you'll be flowing out to others.
Yes,
If you're whole in the top half.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Very nice.
So yeah,
That's good. Well, actually, I should mention that if you're interested in listening to other podcasts other than Talking Bible,
yes,
I do recommend, Beamer podcast. Superb.
Yeah.
BEMA, Beamer. Especially if you go right back to the beginning. There are overviews of the Bible. We've got to go back years to do that, but go back and listen to it from the beginning.
yeah,
It's well worth it. You'll love it.
Yeah, it is so good. Now I've got homework.
Okay.
I
tell
love
us
a
the
bit of homework. Okay. So at the very end of the Beatitudes, it talks about the prophets that are persecuted. And what are we talking about there?
Yeah.
Because, Jesus talks about these persecuted
prophets in the same way they were
prophets.
persecuted, so you'll be persecuted.
Now, in my last preach, I thought, you know what, we needed a bit of Zephaniah. I don't think I've ever heard Zephaniah preached in our church. I'm like, I've got
So
to.
you went Zephaniah?
So I went Zephaniah. So I've got some
and it wasn't
Zephaniah.
3:17?
It wasn't 3.
No, that's the one that gets quoted all the time. He
So I've got
rejoices over
some-
you with singing.
So I didn't go
No,
there.
that's the only one I know off the top of my
So
head.
Zephaniah 3:12 to 13
Okay, nearly there.
is a persecuted prophet. But I will leave within you the meek and humbled. A remnant of Israel will trust in the name of the Lord. They will do no wrong. They will tell no lies. A deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouths. They will eat and lie down, and no one
Oh, wow.
will make them afraid.
That sounds very beatitude-ish.
It does, doesn't
It
it?
actually, I've never thought of that. That actually sounds like Jesus has riffed off that passage to write the Beatitudes.
It does, doesn't it?
Remarkable.
And there are two other persecuted prophets, and I'm going to let everyone go and find them.
Okay.
There are two more.
Minor prophets, or because Jeremiah was persecuted.
They're a little bit easier to find.
Okay.
I
won't tell you.
went,
One might be Jeremiah, but
I went and found the hard one,
okay.
but there's two others,
Okay.
and they're remnants. I'll give the clue: remnants. Go and find the remnants.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right.
But yeah, Zephaniah.
Zephaniah. I like that. I reckon that has got to be linked. I'd love to dig into that and dig into the Beatitudes and see because there was half a dozen things you said there that sound like the Beatitudes in that statement.
It totally does,
Yeah,
doesn't it? It's just
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, this
Talk about
is
being filled, hungry. Oh, there was so many things.
the
you said.
meek and the humbled.
Yep.
You know, trust in the name of the Lord. You know, you will do no wrong.
That sounds like righteousness.
The righteousness, pure at heart.
Yep, that's right.
Tell no lies. You know, a deceitful tongue will not be found in their mouths. Like
sounds very Beatitudes.
Peacemakers.
Excellent.
This is the peace.
That's brilliant. I'm going to have to do some digging into that.
I know. This one took me out of all the stuff. This one I spent
rabbit
holes. I'm like,
well, I think I think the thing is, we talk about peacemaking is that you picked up on this just off air before we started. Peacemaking is not an easy thing to do.
No. Everyone hates the peacemaker.
Yeah.
Both sides hate the peacemaker.
Because we're not talking here about peacekeeping.
No.
Peacekeeping can be hard, but peacemaking is even harder because in order to be a peacemaker, you've got to put yourself out there fully aware that the people you're trying to reconcile together, neither of them wants what you have to say.
No. And both want to be heard.
Yep.
And both want to be right.
Yes, that's right.
And it's trying to get people to a
people
place.
to see that you're going to have to give and take a bit here if we're going to find peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we going to lie down and move on from?
Yeah.
Because you might be right. You might be right. But we're going to...
being right the most important thing?
That's right. Is being right the thing that we're going to, you know...
Is it the hill to die on?
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Is this the hill we're going to go die on?
Yeah.
Is this what we want?
Yeah.
What are we going to lie down?
Very often our flesh wants to die on the wrong hill.
Totally.
Yeah, because being perceived as wrong hurts our pride. And yet Jesus, as a sheep before his shearer, was silent, so he didn't open his mouth. So in order to bring peace, we have to be prepared to be silent sometimes. And the peacemaker will call us to shut our mouth sometimes. And it's a challenging place to be. I mean, they were expecting a peacemaker who would do it through military force, and Jesus upends that and says that's not the kind of peace I'm trying to bring.
It's wrong kingdom.
The wrong kingdom. I like it. Wrong kingdom. The ultimate way. Let's face it. The way to bring peace is to give up our rights.
Yeah.
You know, that's how. Rather than fighting for our rights, the way to go. I'm prepared to lay down what I think I want for the benefit of someone else. If our world lived that way, we would not have war. We would not be facing the challenges we are in the world today. We don't. And you can only, it takes two to tango, but the call of Christians is to be the peacemaker, and that will mean that there will be some hills that you're prepared to just not die on, but just give up.
Yeah. Yep. We unfortunately have seen too often it go wrong.
Yeah.
And as you said, we all want to be right, and we do. We all want to be right, but sometimes we have to give that up.
Totally. I mean, this is a pretty big call. He says, this is how to become a child of God.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in my family, you're going to be a person who's prepared to make peace. And you could be the peacemaker. You could be a mediator, like between two warring parties. That can be a challenge. But even in our own lives, with my wife or with someone in the church or a work colleague, the call is for me to be a peacemaker. And that will require a hefty sacrifice. But that is what Jesus is saying. That is how you become part of my family. You want to be part of my family? That's the call of God on you.
And it's not being dragged into the conflict as well.
Yes, that's right. Sometimes it isn't being pulled into it. Yeah.
It's being able to hear it and not become part of it.
Yep.
And that's also hard.
Yep.
Because there's emotions, there's feelings, and it's being able to take a distance in that and see that bigger picture and go, I'm here for peace. How are we going to find a path for peace?
That's right.
In this?
And sometimes the peacemaking isn't just being silent. Sometimes it's more than that. Sometimes it's actually, I'm thinking about Proverbs 31. Speak up for those who cannot speak up for themselves. So sometimes the call of peacemaking is actually to speak up against injustice and speak up against abuse and speak up against false treatment. And that's why it's linked to persecution.
Yes.
Because the powers do not like it.
No.
When we go against them and try to bring God's kingdom values into it. Because sometimes it does require you to speak to the abuser and say, you know, this is out of line. This has to stop.
Yeah.
It happens in workplaces. It happens in church life. And so it's not like, oh, that's nice. Oh, what it is to be a peacemaker. Oh, that's beautiful. Sometimes being peacemaker is actually laying down your life.
Yeah. And you're not just going to walk in and say, okay, the peacemaker's here. This is not going to stop now.
Exactly.
No. That persecution, all that venom that
Yep.
they've got for each other
Yep.
is now going to be directed to
To
you.
you. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So
Oh.
that those two persecution lines, they're there for
They're there for a
very
reason,
good
'cause-
reason.
Yeah, okay. So that's sobering, isn't it? This is not that's a nice verse. This is actually a high call for the Christian.
Huge call. But that's the calling we've got now. Again, we're not going in on our own.
Yeah.
God's favor
Yes. Is on us.
Is on us
The makurios, yes.
as we
favour of
are
God.
going in to be a
I like
peacemaker.
it. Yep. So we are actually operating in the power of the Spirit when we do this.
That's right.
And that doesn't always mean that we're going to be able to resolve peace. I say this all the time on this podcast where the Apostle Paul says, I think it's in Romans, he says, as far as it depends upon you, live at peace with all people, which is an acknowledgement. It's a concession
Yes.
that you're not going to be able to live at peace with all people.
No.
Because it takes two or more to bring peace. But as far as it depends upon you, be the peacemaker.
Yes. The stance that we go in with is in peace.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, great. I like it. Lots to think about there. Anything else you want to add to that one?
No, that wraps up the Peacemakers.
That's the Peacemakers. If only it was that easy. If we could just do it in 20 minutes and master peacemaking for the rest of our life, we'd be doing great. All right, everybody. Thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you on the next episode.